Matt's watching SmackDown with us, you watching SmackDown, like actually locked in, not on your computer or anything. I'm like, man, we having a great family moment. This is great. And then all of a sudden, the newest freak says, and that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. Six years ago this week, Rhodesia, we had the tagline of SummerSlam, which was, "You'll never see it coming." And indeed, nobody saw it coming that year. That was the night we got the return of Roman Reigns, which set off the beginning of the tribal chief character. And of course, as we know, the rest is absolute history. My question to you is, it's been 6 years now since we've had OTC, Roman Reigns being this character, no more Big Dog, no more Shield. For you and your personal fandom, where do you put this run of Roman in regards to importance and impact?
It's going to have to be top tier for both of them. As far as what I was watching wrestling in my fandom, in my personal fandom, the only other person that would even rival it would be a John Cena. And I even knew then that John Cena wasn't over or probably impactful to anybody other than children and maybe some of the girls or the young ladies fan base. But with the OTC and from just the original evolving of his character and everybody that he brought up. So you talk about even impact. Most people will say that the Bloodline storyline is the greatest, if not one of the greatest storylines in pro wrestling history. Now, of course, some people could be tired of it now and today, but just overall, it's argued that it's one of the best storylines. So impactful, absolutely. And then, like I said, as far as my own personal fandom, it's at the top. It'd probably be very hard for anybody or any story to actually trump that when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. And for me, I got it up there with the advent of AEW.
Yeah.
It's that high. I mean, if we think about back in 2019 and we were still going to WrestleManias, and I went back and just looked at like the cards back then, and the cards weren't horrendous, but man, they weren't what we're getting now. I mean, that's why AEW became a thing, was because there was a fan base that was not getting their thirst quenched by WWE. And this is when New Japan was getting some legs in the States. And thinking about what the Bloodline with Roman has done for the WWE in 6 years, there's a lot of people who go with the line of that saved WWE. I'm not going that far, of course, but we have to remember there were times early on into AEW where they were outdrawing WWE in attendance in major markets. There was a time where AEW was threatening to take over Madison Square Garden, run Madison Square Garden. There was a time where AEW had more positive momentum and talk than WWE did. And of course, that kind of has changed. And this isn't just a WWE and AEW conversation, but I think with how wrestling is cool again, yes, Triple H taking over the book had a lot to do with it, but history is going to show, I think, favorably well for Roman Reigns. When his run is all said and done, in many X years as it is, one, I think it's already been cemented for me that the Bloodline story is the best storyline in wrestling history because it's not done. I also think that Roman Reigns, the character, is going to be looked at and known as the character that has put over the most wrestlers in the history of professional wrestling. And I'm talking just rub too, right? Like, it doesn't have to be with somebody's a non-factor before they got to Roman. But if you look at what Roman Reigns, the OTC, the tribal chief character, has done, anybody that he's ever feuded with, in my opinion, and also the opinion of people like John Cena, they're in a better position after Roman, continually after Roman, than any other top star in the business. So it's just crazy that it's been 6 years already. And to your point,
when you said that about the SummerSlam of surprises or whatever you said, I'm like, no, that was just a few years ago. And you talking about that was a return of Roman? What? Like that? I can't believe it's been that many years already.
6 years. And I was going to say some people, vocal minority, are tired of the bloodline, but vast majority is not. And we still are getting quality television from it. So I think that speaks to it too. And that's just not all him, but he's at the head of that. He's absolutely at the head of that. But yeah, 6 years. Crazy. Crazy. Even you just think about the last 6 years, just even overall. So if you can even include AEW, take AEW, take Roman Reigns, the character, take Triple H. Definitely one of the biggest spans of, 5 to 6 years in wrestling history outside of Monday Night Wars. Of course, that's up there. That may be number one. The ECW, when they were taking off, was a big one too. But this is one that is going to go down in history books for sure.
Absolutely. And because it's just the vast majority. I mean, what you mentioned there as far as the Monday Night Wars, I wasn't privileged to that time of
you weren't there.
Wrestling.
You weren't outside.
But I wasn't outside. And when ECW, by the time, the only thing I know about ECW was when WWE already bought it. And
now count. You weren't outside for that.
That was so
no, we're not even
that wasn't even light. That's not right. That's not even ECW light. That was just not a product. That was just someone using their name. We are not going to talk
about the sci-fi ECW time. Man, I was so excited for ECW when they did One Night Stand, which is one of the best pay-per-views for me at the time in wrestling history. And then they brought it back like the next year. It didn't have the same feel. It was like, okay, I'll never forget Rey Mysterio and Sabu. The match ended in like a no contest. And like ECW matches didn't end in a no contest. And it ended just because they went through a table. And I was like, uh-oh, this is a little different than what I'm used to. But it still had a really nice feel of ECW. And then we heard that like they're bringing ECW back and they're going to be on the Sci-Fi Network. We're like, man, hell yeah, they got their own network. And then like the zombie came out. It was like one of the first two segments. And I was like, oh. And then the worst wrestling pay-per-view in history of wrestling pay-per-views.
Which was?
December to Dismember. I think it was Bobby Lashley and Big Show on top. This is an ECW pay-per-view. It's actually one of the things that made Heyman just quit was that show. It was that bad. And at that point, I think I was completely checked out. I don't think I watched another ECW show that was on Sci-Fi.
But even then, like all of that you just mentioned, it was the demo they were targeting purely was like the 25 to 35-year-old male. And you look at now, you fast forward all these years later, and pro wrestling is just popular and fun again. And in this time, they've brought the family, and the family started to come around too in like the late 2000s with WWE. But now it's families. Now it's all ages. It's those lapsed fans that has come back. If they've gone to AEW or stayed with WWE, they've come back. So it's such a much larger scope of demo that is now watching pro wrestling. Whether they want to admit it or not, it is still just much more than what the ideal demo was back then at those times.
It is. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to this episode. We got a good action-packed show set up for you guys today. This is episode 268 of the TFW podcast. TFW does stand for That's Freaking Wrestling. I am your favorite talker out in these streets, Matt.
And I am Rhodesia, who always have such a hard time throwing up the numbers because I try to do it inverted for the cameras and it just really throws me off. But I got it in and I get it in every time.
Cool.
So if you're watching on TV, I always throw up the numbers.
It's cool. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You keep throwing your setup.
the number gang.
Just make sure you go to the right neighborhood after you're doing that. We can't afford any casualties. We cannot afford that. We building some good momentum. Speaking of momentum, 1.2 million views in the last 30 days on social media for our platform. So shout out to the freaks, man. Shout out to the supporters of the pod. We've been talking about it. Best kept secret in wrestling podcasts every single week. We are falling farther away from the best kept secret, but we are the best podcast. And as I always say, if we're not your favorite, I do want to know why, because we are the best thing going today. But shout out to all the freaks, day one freaks, first freaks, new freaks, all freaks. If you're a freak, you down with me. You know what I mean? You are down with me. So we got a lot to get to on this episode. We are going to give our preview of All In at the end of the show. And I was looking at this week, like I said, we got a lot. And I was like, where can we start? Where should we start? And for me, there's only one place to start. And we got to go back to Friday from SmackDown. And SmackDown starts. We watch it live. Remember I said, I got to watch this show live. I can't get down with no spoilers. And the big reason was CM Punk versus Kevin Owens. That was why I'm like, we got to watch live. That ain't our lead topic and story from SmackDown. So we're watching SmackDown and we're locked in. Great start to the show. We get, Sammy, and then we get I think Sammy was in the back talking to
Nick
Aldis, and then he's talking how he's talking, and then we get Randy Orton pop up on him, and then they have their little thing, and then
Sammy
we get a shot to Cody. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he ain't backing down. He only back down when it's time to back down. Yeah, like he can't work. His wrist is messed up. And then we get a shot of Cody in the ring. So now Cody's calling out Orton. Nick comes out and was like, look, we're not doing this. If y'all put hands on each other before Sunday night's main event, I'm going to make sure neither one of you get another title shot in history.
Ever.
Love it. Absolutely love it. That tells us that we're not going to get physicality. And now we know why we're not going to get physicality up until Sunday night's main event. Perfect. Then we get another really strong promo segment from Randy Orton and Cody. And I'm locked in. I'm like, man, they doing it. Like, yes, this is kind of what we really wanted from WrestleMania until Pat McAfee got involved. They really get into it, doing the thing. And then all of a sudden, Rhodesia, it's time for the promo to end. Cody Rhodes. Well, shout out to Cody Rhodes. Cody followed us on X, which was pretty cool. So he saw some of our content. I don't know what he saw. It'd be really interesting to see.
Hopefully he doesn't see when I call him Public Enemy number 2. But if he does, if you have to go back to episode 1 to understand this whole journey of my Cody Rhodes Public Enemy number 2. And he would appreciate it.
Yeah, even though you've met him numerous times and you guys have had conversations and such, which is hilarious. Like, I love your gimmick, though. I love your gimmick. Everybody you hate, you've met before and have had incredible conversations with those
Actually,
people.
Can I say this real quick? Because we got to get to the line. But the people that I have met who's my Public Enemy number 1 and number 2, they are actually very awesome in person. Their energy, their spirit is just, it's when you say don't get heroes,
stick to the
they're
character.
amazing. Yes, but and then the person that I thought was my number 1, I've been on here and said that he's been, I think I've said it publicly. I felt kind of closed off when I met Roman before. So it was just a different time in his career too. You said he wasn't quite like that. Maybe I was interpreting.
Roman, that is you. It is 100% you. You got starstruck. You didn't know what to say. He was just like, "Hi, Mr. Reigns," and he thought you were a little kid.
Didn't say that.
He was like, "Hey, little sweetheart, what school do you go to?"
I'm older than Roman.
You was a grown ass woman when you met Roman. You froze up. That's funny. So we get to it. And like I'm on my phone and stuff, and I'm like, man, hell yeah, they doing this thing. Like I'm excited. Matt's watching SmackDown with us. You watching SmackDown, like actually locked in, not on your computer or anything. I'm like, man, we having a great family moment. This is great. And then all of a sudden, the newest freak, Cody Rhodes, says, and that's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
We
and I damn near jumped
out
of my chair.
What? We all screamed. We all like, what did he just say? Holy shit. We was ready to turn on the mics at that moment.
Oh, you know me. I was ready to load up. I would look, whatever happened the rest of that show, I had my top story. I don't care if KO would have beat Punk in 20 seconds. That wasn't going to be the number one.
It'll be number 1.
I don't care if we turned on Raw and Kenny Omega jumped ship before his main event match at All In to challenge Roman Reigns. That still would not have been the top story on this episode
luchador, huh?
of 268 of these things for the TFW podcast. I was locked in. Months ago, Heyman and Cody had a promo segment when Cody was champion on SmackDown. And Heyman's last line in that promo was, eventually, they all come running to the wise men. Either he said they all come running to the wise men or they all need the wise men. And when he said that line, like, yeah, I don't even know if we brought it up on the pod. But I'm like, okay, that's like, All right, that's like a sprinkling of what could be to come. We know it ain't happening anytime soon, per se, because we're leading up to Mania, that whole thing. But then we get this Friday, and that's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. Now, Cody Rhodes can say, that's just a line. It's a line Mr. Heyman has said, so I decided to say it. I said weeks ago on this show, Cody is so great because he's not turning heel right now, but he's doing enough to give something, all the fan base, something to gravitate to. Well, holy hell, is this something to gravitate to? I want to just talk about the Cody Rhodes heel turn. That is coming. And maybe it's not coming for another 5 years. But maybe it's coming in the next 5 months. Or maybe it's coming in the next 5 weeks. But I think we all know we are getting a Cody Rhodes heel turn. If we don't get a Cody Rhodes heel turn in WWE, that would probably be the biggest what if, top 10 what if in the history of WWE.
It'd be like the John Cena thing. But again, I have to eliminate that last year, John Cena, in this argument. But yeah, we always wanted Cena to turn heel. Yeah. We always wanted him to turn heel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it makes too much business sense to not turn Cody heel at some point. For Cena, it was the opposite. Vince felt like it made too much sense to turn Cena heel. Top guy, merchandise seller, number one, all that kind of stuff that came with what Cena was when he was running WWE. But boy, when Cody dropped that line, of course, my mind got to racing. Because I'm like, you don't do that line unless at some point we got to pay it off. And once again, it could be WrestleMania 48. I am not saying this is next week. Okay, but even if you listen to the crowd, and yes, or Randy Orton, talked about this during the WrestleMania build. Randy is getting more cheers week to week in this feud than Cody Rhodes is.
Yeah, they're not going to boo Randy at this point.
They're not going to boo Randy.
Even when he does bad things, he's not. Yeah, they're not.
Correct. They're not going to boo Randy. But Cody's the golden boy, right? QB1, golden boy.
Yeah.
And he's getting booed. So that tells you there is a world where a heel turn now would work. But what I do want to talk about, Rhodes, and we can take this conversation wherever you want to take it. There is going to be so much money in this Cody Rhodes heel turn. I think literal money and figurative money. Money storyline wise and cash registers. Now you got to have, of course, that really, really big baby face to maximize that Cody Rhodes heel turn. Mm-hmm. But if you think about just off of the material Cody Rhodes would have alone in his heel turn, why he turned to the dark side, look no further than every single one of his friends since he's come back to WWE has turned on him. That alone will drive any man insane to turn to the dark side. So that's number one. Boy, I just, let me ask you, one, what did you think about the line? Let's just start there. Let's start with the Heyman line. When he hit it, what went through your mind? What did you think? Because I think you really, we've talked, of course, countless times about Cody Rhodes heel turn. Cody Rhodes heel turn. Cody Rhodes heel turn. And I think every hardcore fan has talked about a Cody Rhodes heel turn. But, you know, these last, I would maybe say 6 to 9 months, has felt a little different for Cody. Cody has had more boos, I would say, in the last 6 to 9 months in WWE in this run than he has at any time, probably combined before now with the WWE fan base. So the timing of the line is pretty perfect to ensure that Cody Rhodes, the character, is now as what's the word I'm looking for? Interesting as possible. But what'd you think about the line?
The line itself, we know anything bloodline related. And I'm going to call Cody in this bloodline related because that's kind of where it all started, the whole finishing the story. So anything that's kind of connected to all of that, I considered bloodline. We know it's just like Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Things aren't just said and things aren't just done just haphazardly, just to put it there or to fill time. They're intentional. So at that point, when he hit that line, I'm like, holy shit. Whoa, did he just say that? Well, he just took Heyman's line too. So it'd be one thing that's, to gimmick infringe or swagger jack somebody else's line or phrase. Okay, but you took Heyman's? So at that point, it was just like, so you had to get permission. At the very least, you had to get permission. So if there was nothing to do with Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes in the future, 5 months, 5 years, whatever, you still had to get permission from that. And you already know how Paul Heyman mind would work. And if he signed off on that line, then he already knows, okay, if something wasn't going to happen prior to now, we know that this is going to happen later on. So when that happened, I'm like, I thought the Homelander gimmick was going to be incredible. Assuming he's going to look like Homelander. Who knows? He may not even. It's just that such resemblance between the two of the characters. But I'm like, he's not only about to go Homelander, he about to be a Paul guy as Homelander. I didn't think it could get better than that. So when I first heard that, all those things was just going through my mind. Like, I was mad because I thought Cody should have turned quite a long time ago. I mean, I had always said that he should have turned. I actually thought that people was going to start booing him much sooner than he started getting booed. But they didn't. And I see why they didn't turn him then, because he was still making a lot of money. But now, like you said, I think the timing is the most ripe. You finally got some people who are really going to boo Cody, and he's still in a feud right now with Randy. So the problem with Cody prior to the 9 months prior to that ago, he was in some of these meaningless feuds. They really didn't have anybody that was going to really derobe or dethrone Cody from his championship. So it was almost like kind of like that filler matches. Now we actually got something to sink our teeth into. This is the real Cody and Roman, real Cody and Orton to me. Because again, the Mania build, we know what happened with that. But this is now for real. And Popster Orton too, I actually thought that was one of his longer promos that I had remember watching. And I actually thought that he kind of held himself pretty good too, because Cody's fantastic on the mic. So with Randy, who's more of this kind of nonchalant, cool cat, I'm like, how's he going to go with Cody when Cody's that passionate? Because he started the show very passionate. So I really liked Orton's part of it. But that line itself, to me, just took me down so many different avenues of how much more good TV that we can have on SmackDown or even under Cody. So Cody calling himself the QB1, this is one of those times where now she's showing and proving that he's going to be QB1. And that's the beauty between even him and Roman having this battle, who's the main guy, because with competition, y'all rise. So everything gets better. So the line itself took me like, hell yeah, I thought Homelander was going to be a huge gimmick. Oh no, Homelander with Paul Heyman, chef's kiss.
So let's deep dive it a little bit. Within 2 or 3 week time span, we've had I no longer have to be the bad guy or the good guy.
The good guy.
And now we got, that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. Okay. With a babyface like Cody Rhodes, you have to make sure you maximize the heel turn. Now, there's 2 different ways to maximize a heel turn in professional wrestling. One way is to set it up to where kind of everybody sees it coming, but they don't know exactly when it's going to happen. And you have that huge baby face that now new heel can go against. Okay, that is one way to maximize a heel turn. There's also another way to maximize a heel turn where nobody sees it coming. Because it is going to be a moment that will last forever when nobody sees it coming. John Cena, heel turn, take away how the run went. That moment at Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
It was on nobody's mind that John Cena was going to be the one that was going to go with The Rock.
It was more
of like, yo,
selling his soul.
Is Cody going to sell his soul or is he not going to sell his soul? He has We do know he has appreciation and respect and love for The Rock. He maybe does want to get into Hollywood. What can we do with this? And if he's taking on John Cena, if we get a John Cena, Cody Rhodes, man, it makes all the sense in the world for Cody Rhodes to be a heel. And then we had John Cena do the heel turn. So when I look at this, I look at it and say, yes, there is money, absolutely, in the no one saw it coming. Because all I can envision right now is Cody Rhodes turning heel, and they shoot to the crowd, and there are kids in the Cody robes and the T-shirts crying because their favorite just turned a bad guy. There is so much money in that alone for me could be worth it. But that's not the way you maximize a Cody Rhodes heel turn. You maximize it by showing as much as you can to set up the story and set that character up for when it is finally time to turn, you have squeezed it all and every babyface moment you can out of the character. Matt has been clamoring for a Cody Rhodes heel turn for like 2.5, 3 years now. And every time he brings it up, I tell Matt it's not time yet because there's still a lot of meat on the bone for the babyface Cody Rhodes. He saw this past Friday, and I asked him, I said, so Matt, now let me ask you, what was a better time for Cody Rhodes to turn heel? Would it be a week after he hit that Paul Heyman line, or was it last year? And Matt said, well, it's now. I said, exactly. We still could get another year, year and a half, 2 years, 3 years out of Cody Rhodes being a babyface. If they have it mapped and say, okay, well, we still need to do this, and then we can even do this to give him even more ammunition when he does turn heel. Hey, maybe we want to do another babyface Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, whatever he may be at that time, heel baby, whatever that is, and add that to it. And then that was time to pull the lever on the heel turn. Who knows? Because we don't know what they had planned. But what I do know is the longer they wait, as long as they do it right, the better off it's going to be when we do get it.
You mentioned that the best way to turn Cody, you had said, as far as like doing it to where you drop these seeds, blah, 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 until like you've drained it, you squeezed everything out of it. But wouldn't you say that that's WWE spoon feeding their fans? I'm not against it per se, but I'm just saying.
Ain't nobody got time for none of those. Ain't nobody got time for none of that when you're talking about a Cody Rhodes heel turn. Cody Rhodes was the guy that Triple H, which was the booker, put his book behind years ago, right? This isn't just a babyface turning heel. This is your top guy outside of Roman Reigns turning. Anything else you may have, you got to throw all that out the window for this moment. This is a Hulk Hogan heel turn. This is a John Cena heel turn. This is a Roman Reigns heel turn 6 years ago this week. We're talking about this level of heel turn where Vince and Roman and Heyman decided 6 years ago to go with the no one will see it coming. And Roman was off TV for months. Remember, that was after
when he had
COVID.
Leukemia.
So he came back. Remember, he had cancer. He left, came back, was in remission. He came back. He worked Drew McIntyre in New York at that WrestleMania. He was on TV a little bit. COVID hit. He was off TV until he came back as this Roman Reigns. So even that was a little bit different because we weren't seeing him weekly. It was a return and, oh, shit, this is a different Roman Reigns. We think he's a bad guy. Remember, we didn't even know. But when SummerSlam ended, remember his T-shirt, show up, wreck. I forgot what it said. Wreck and leave. I forgot exactly what it was, right? We didn't know until a couple weeks later after that. When he won the championship, it was like, oh, shit. And then when they was on SmackDown and they pushed that door and Heyman was sitting there with Roman, holy hell, we off to the races now. We off to the races now. But now I want to bring up the Paul Heyman effect of this. And now this is when, let's get to it. Let's get to it now. Because where does Heyman go? Yes, Heyman has Bron Breakker to a certain extent. Heyman has also just came off of arguably his best run as a valet, as a manager, whatever you want to see, advocate, all that kind of stuff, right? And he had a hell of a run with Brock Lesnar. He's going to be synonymous with Brock
all
Lesnar.
Three of them. I mean, within the 2.5 years, he had
Punk,
all three of them. Yep.
Right? Going to be synonymous with CM Punk. To a lesser extent, Roman Reigns, you cannot talk about the tribal chief without talking about Paul Heyman. You're not going to be able to in history. Where does
he
Paul
still
Heyman
calls himself
go?
the wise man when he introduces
himself.
Because he still calls himself the wise man. Even to this, the last time I heard him say
all of it.
Yep.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
So now where do I go as Paul Heyman to challenge myself next? Because boy, do I still have all the equity as a promoter, as a manager, whatever you want to look at. Boy, would Cody Rhodes be perfect. And the reason why Cody Rhodes would be perfect is because Cody Rhodes, at this point, will have Paul Heyman in his corner. And then Cody Rhodes could, I don't know, maybe make his own faction. Kind of the way Roman had the bloodline. And maybe if we are finally going to really do this heel turn and make him be just the biggest asshole we can, completely different than the American Nightmare, which is
American Daydream,
which is
shout out, Randy.
A shout out to the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, who Rhodesia, you wasn't really around for Dusty Rhodes NWA and WCW run, but I am sure you know who Dusty Rhodes' biggest opposition was when he was a top babyface, don't you?
No, I just knew that he was always losing to that person.
Which was who?
I don't remember.
Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen. What if Cody Rhodes makes his own new Four Horsemen? Now you talk about giving respect to his dad, but really being that asshole in storyline of this group that was made to have my dad's life a living hell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running the new Four Horsemen with Paul Heyman as whatever his name is going to be. He can even stick with the American Nightmare. See, now we cooking. Now there is so much here with the Cody Rhodes heel turn that if you do it right, because the people's worry is, well, if you turn Cody, all that's going to do is now he's going to get cheered. I have all the faith in the world that when we do something like this, once again, at this type of level, Hogan didn't get cheered at first when he went with NWO. Roman damn sure didn't get cheered when he was in, and granted it was in the Thunderdome, right? So there was no fans, but the way he was set up with his character with Heyman when he choked out the Usos and all that kind of stuff, Roman wasn't getting cheered at that time. And we know Cena wouldn't get cheered either, right? Once again, probably, a failed heel turn if you just look at the type of TV we got from it. But when Cena showed up last year at SummerSlam and the lights came on and he got that huge pop, I said, well, the heel turn was worth it. it was worth it just for that moment.
Yeah, just for that moment.
But boy, could we really get to the shits if we do this?
I had a question brewing, but as you kept talking, I'm like, damn it, I'm losing it because it's not going to make sense anymore when I ask it because everything you said is just like beautiful and poetic. But let me just ask a question that's probably on some people's minds. Why, though? Cody doesn't need anybody. He damn sure doesn't need a Paul Heyman. Like, do you think that they're using an asset of Paul Heyman in a place that they don't need to use him at, where he could be used somewhere else? Again, Bron by himself.
Well, once again, we don't know when this is going to happen. So he may not be with Bron Breakker anymore. Or maybe Bron Breakker is part of the Four Horsemen that I'm talking about. Right?
Yeah.
Because we can't say what he doesn't need until we see it. You're saying he doesn't need it as the babyface constructed right now.
Correct.
If
or
we're
just
going
as
to
the
do
name,
this
if you
heel
QB1
thing, but I'm not going to be QB1 anymore as the heel.
Yeah.
That's my point. we got to do this thing and make sure it lands as a heel, because that's where the money is.
And I think Cody would be great as a heel, where you won't want to cheer him because he would be an asshole about it.
Cody's a better heel than he is a babyface.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cody's a better heel than he is a babyface.
He has a look for it.
You just layer. You layer until it's ready. But once again, we just gave, 25, 26 minutes, whatever it was, to something that may not even happen until episode 466 of the TFW podcast.
But we say, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so.
Or it could be episode 273. We just got to see. But I'm here for it, and I think there's just no way they don't do it. Yes. Now, there is a world where they don't, and we look back at it and say, you sly devil, you worked us with the two lines and this and that and this and that. But as the old adage goes, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I just think there will get to a point, of course, where overall the fan base is going to get tired of Cody Rhodes, the babyface, and you got to turn him heel. That's all. It's just a matter of the perfect timing when to. But I would love for people to let us know, when do you think the perfect time to turn Cody? And don't tell me last year, 2 years ago. I don't want to hear that. Okay, I'm talking about for now.
You don't want my answer. My answer was that 2 years ago.
Not. Yeah, because
my answer was right after he finished the story.
Yeah, no, that would have been horrendous. You would have wasted it. Brother would have been back in AEW if you would have did it then. He'd be on top of All In though. He probably would. He couldn't challenge for the world title anymore, but he would have figured something else out.
He'd figure something out.
So we got that. And then, of course, CM Punk and Kevin Owens. How happy are you?
Happy.
You went on your
yes, I'm so
diatribe
happy.
last week.
Yeah. Oh, and he's still public enemy number one. Okay, well, I have to have an asterisk here. I'm happy, very happy, because a lot of the match, KO whipped that ass, kicking him, punching him. So he beat up Punk. So I was really happy about that. I knew he wasn't going to win because you told me, hey, if you had to pick, it's not going on KO right now, that championship. But how happy I am, very happy that CM Punk got beat up. I also have to say something too about Punk. And just in this year alone, he has had actually some, like last year, I remember me and you was butting heads on it because you were talking about how Punk is good in the ring and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like trashing him like, no, he's not. He always looks tired and defeated in a match. But I would say his heavy hitting matches he had this year so far with Rhodes, Roman, and KO. Those are probably some of the best matches just in totality that I've seen this whole year. So again, I can't say that he's 3 of my top 5 matches of the year, but if someone say that they are, I can't argue with them because he just works really well. So this year, I give probably him the top work match grade or award for the year. Prior to that, though, I didn't feel that way, but I had to call Punk out on that because I'm like, man, for somebody who I really don't care for, damn, he got me involved in these matches. I'm feeling something for it. I'm feeling I want him to get beat up when KO was smashing his head. And I was happy about that. I'm like, yes, again. And then it goes back to even not only does he know how to work physically, he knows how to work mentally. And he's working me. So for me, happy about that. Thought, again, Cody, sorry. I thought that Punk looked, again, I talk about this. You told me why I think I'm messing up at. I always call Cody CM Punk. And I think it's because I refer to Punk knowing that it starts with CM, and then I think of Cody. So again, just a quick,
or it could be that
square moment.
The love you have for both of them, but when you get on the show, you're just like, I gotta act like I don't like them. So you keep confusing the two, your top guys. But you're like, oh shit, I gotta stick to my gimmick of not liking these guys. Punk said maybe months ago, I don't think it was on Unreal, but I saw an interview with him where he talked about he felt like he's the best he's ever been right now, and it sucks because his body's, of course, breaking down just in terms of age. Like, I can't do it as long as I could before, but I'm the best I've ever been right now. And brother's in incredible shape. He looks fantastic. Of course, he looks the best he's ever looked.
Orton caught him out last week on that.
In his
Orton
career,
caught him out on that.
Which is also a thing of, we talk about like losing recipes, hopefully in wrestling never happens. Even that kind of stuff, putting somebody over on camera. There's a lot that comes with that, opposed to not doing that. And it's come from the giant Randy Orton, who's a heel, to the baby Punk. There's a lot that comes with that. And the history they've had, all that kind of stuff, right? Which is really cool. But boy, I loved it. Man, I loved everything about Friday. Was just so cool for SmackDown because I think they had 13,000 in Canada. The crowd was there for that match. Energy was there really kind of all night. But Punk, what he is a pro wrestler. Punk's a pro wrestler. I've said it already. Punk's one of the best pro wrestlers that you can have. And Punk knows what to do to be good at this thing called pro wrestling. We sell a match, and then we work the match depending on what the sell was. And the sell for Kevin Owens and CM Punk was personal, and I don't like you. It wasn't who's the better wrestler. Yeah, it was for the championship, but I don't like you. And from the time of the entrances to the introductions, where they don't even allow the intros to happen without physicality and getting each other's faces, to the match, to the pace, to the intensity. They sold real.
Say that intensity.
They sold real in that match. And it was great. It was fantastic. So we're watching it, and as you brought up last week, when KO had his promo with Punk, and he never said I was taking the championship. For me, of course, that was okay, then KO's not winning this championship. But then we get Sami Zayn involved. After we saw Sami Zayn at the top of the show, and it was funny because a lot of people on social media Thursday and Friday of last week was leaving us comments and messages, and probably the biggest response was Sami Zayn is going to cost, I can't remember if they said CM Punk or Kevin Owens. My apologies. I can't remember. It was one of them though. Whichever one it was, I didn't agree with for the most part. So Sami shows up. Sami gets involved. Now I'm still watching it, and then Sami hits CM Punk. And he throws Punk into the ring. And I'm like, yo, are they really about to pull the trigger? And we proceed to get one of the best false finishes in recent memory. Oh, that false finish, boy. That's probably going to be the false finish of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if we get a better false finish this year than that one. It was the location. It was who was involved. It was the timing of the kick out by Punk. It was everything that led up to that.
The intensity of why we thought that Punk was done. Getting thrown into that turnbuckle.
Just amazing work. Amazing work. And then, of course, things don't go the way it's supposed to. Both guys get a 3 count when the referee's not looking. So it's square. They both could have won, right? So you don't have that. And then Sami being Sami.
But my recollection, though, I think KO had the first 3 pin attempt. And then that wasn't there. And I think, and then Punk followed after that. But KO should technically have
the
won
way to do
first.
it. You don't have Punk do that first, because then Punk could just say, and then the referee never got knocked out, I would have beat you. And then like KO doesn't have a leg to stand on. But it was great because they both can say that now. It wasn't just KO got it, and then Punk was the one to win. That's why I thought that was awesome too. And then, like I said, Sami and KO do what they always do, and they're gonna fight forever. And now they're at odds again. Okay, here we go again for the 1,000th time. I'm here for it.
But KO, and then I know they building KO as the good guy.
I loved everything they did.
I know they build KO as the good guy here. Even like how you sold it, like you said, how Punk worked me last week. I get all that. But KO should have taken that belt, and he should have knocked out CM Punk, and he should have won the championship. And again, like he said to Sami, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it this time. Not this time. This time I gotta beat him. Like, again, no, you don't, KO. You don't. You can beat him. You could low, because Punk would have, if he had the opportunity. Punk could low blow somebody or kick them in the nuts real quick.
Doesn't matter. And this is why, see, But this is the attention to detail. This is the story we're telling. What was the entire story of CM Punk and Kevin Owens over these last 2 or 3 weeks? No.
Again, I don't like
that. Wasn't the entire story. Entire story was, I haven't liked you for 20 years. I'm different than what you think I am, and I'm better than you. Punk's side was, you still holding on to something from 20 years ago, and you're still not better than me. So if KO would have took the easy way out, that's not proving anything to himself. That I'm better than this guy that I've been saying I'm better than for 20 years. Because I had to cheat to do it.
Prove it to me. It'll prove it to me.
I'm not going to cheat this time.
But I had you pinned first. I already had you pinned
once again,
first.
If they didn't tell that story and you just get that finish, then yeah, now we can say that and we can have a fun conversation about it. But when the story is built upon that is why I can't use this championship. Because then what does that prove? It doesn't prove anything. And then Punk can
proves
still
that you're
say
the champion.
He's better than me, and I couldn't beat him without that title shot.
So we bring it back,
and that's going to eat at him. I waited 20 years for this. Well, it looks like well, we're going to see. We're absolutely going to see. But it was great. No title change, but I didn't care anyway after that Cody promo.
Pretty much, we were kind of living on cloud 9 after that whole thing. Actually, I don't even remember the rest of the show. Actually, I do have something at the very end that I'll talk about, but I didn't even remember the rest of the show because I was so hype on Cody now being a Paul Heyman guy, and then I knew KO wasn't going to win. But hey, he punched him in the face and he beat him down until he didn't. But that's all I care about SmackDown.
Just a great match, man. A great pro wrestling match. It was. WWE's had some really strong matches on television over the last 2 weeks. Ever since SummerSlam, I think we kind of can probably point to each show, and they've had a very good to excellent match on each show. So then that takes us to Raw. Actually, no, before we get to Raw, something we got to talk about, and it actually broke the day after we potted. And I was really close to saying, like, hey, maybe let's pod on Monday, and so we can talk about SmackDown and this. And then I was even thinking, like, yo, I think this could be enough where we can really, really deep dive it. And we're not going to have time to deep dive it because this conversation, honestly, could probably be easily 30 minutes. And that's probably just from my side. But it's Ilya Dragunov leaving WWE. So word came out on Thursday that he is leaving WWE. WWE wanted to re-sign him, and he didn't want to re-sign. Either it's for money, either whatever, but they wanted him back, and he didn't want to re-sign. So that one, when I saw it on Thursday, it was not a shock to me, but it was a, damn, are you kidding me? And it wasn't because Ilya Dragunov is this game-changing talent that if he leaves WWE, they're going to, the sky is falling, they're losing hundreds of thousands of viewers. Or wherever he shows up, he's going to gain them hundreds of thousands of viewers. It wasn't about any of that. For me, it was about, and we had just talked about it a couple months ago, how there was a report that came out that's saying that WWE does not look at Ilya Dragunov as a main event player. Yeah, but we kind of know that because we look at the scope of WWE, the history of WWE, and what that has been for your top main players. He doesn't have that look. But for me, it was a situation of, this is a guy that maximized his minutes every time he was out there. This was a guy, by whose ever fault it was, if you want to somehow say it's his fault, if you want to say it's creative's fault, that he would come out to not a massive ovation, but every single time by the end of that match, when it was the 1, 2, 3,
people standing for ovation.
No matter who he worked.
Mm-hmm.
You got a guy that you can throw out there on any show and say, hey, I need 12 from you tonight. Go make this the best match on the card. And he can do it. He did it. Here's a guy that we said leading up to WrestleMania, hey man, give him and Carmelo 12 to 15 at WrestleMania and watch that be the match of the weekend. And then we didn't get either one of them on WrestleMania. After they spent a lot of real estate on SmackDown with the U.S. Open Challenge and Ilya not taking it and saying, I want you at your best, and them going through the whole thing. So when I saw that he was leaving WWE, I'm just like, damn, what a wasted opportunity. And then, of course, my next thing is like, oh my God, would I love him in AEW? Holy shit. I mean, give me him and anybody in AEW. And boy,
imagine
are you talking
him and
about
Sheamus in AEW? Shit.
Well, I'm not even, no, to hell with Sheamus. He's not there yet. What about him and Kyle Fletcher? What about him and Kevin Knight? What about him and Swerve Strickland? What about him and Will Ospreay? Like, the list goes on and on and on for massive, fantastic matches we can get with Ilya Dragunov in AEW. But then my next thought was, and I tweeted about this and got some comments, was, but where does Ilya Dragunov fit in AEW? AEW already has a bloated roster. And what I mean by bloated roster is their talent is so incredible in AEW. I mean, one of the better rosters for talent we've seen. But Dynamite is only 2 hours. Excuse me.
2.5.
Dynamite is only 2.5 hours.
In these last few weeks, it's been 2.5 hours.
Depending on what Tony feels like doing. Jesus
He paid
Christ,
for that
Tony
extra
Khan.
30 minutes.
Man. So you got 2 to 2.5 hours on Dynamite. I don't want to see, and no disrespect to Collision still has that second-rate feel for me and probably for a lot of AEW fans. And even if you don't think that, I heard Collision is great. Honestly, I haven't watched Collision in a while. Not because I think it sucks. I just, man, it's hard. It's just it's a lot of wrestling now. I'm just trying to figure out, right? You're trying to navigate through. If something's got to go, Collision is going to go for me right now. You know, I'm going to watch Dynamite every single week. I'm watching every pay-per-view, but this Collision, I can't afford the time right now to watch it. So I don't want him just thrown on Collision because it kind of feels like a lot of times there is just some things that's just thrown on Collision from the outside looking in when I look at what's previewed and things of that nature. But I say, okay, if we are constructing a football team or a basketball team, and that's the way I look at wrestling rosters when you have episodic television and weekly TV, it's not just about collecting the best wrestlers you can. For me, it's about spots. And whose spot does Ilya Dragunov take off of Dynamite? I don't know, and I can't find somebody who I see typically on Dynamite where I say that person can be pulled off and Ilya Dragunov can be put on.
No disrespect, but Chris Jericho.
Well, Jericho's, we know that's not, because he just re-signed. I'm sure it's big money. He's Chris Jericho. But yes, if we were 100% for us, of course, that's the one. I just know that's not happening. So I say all that to say, yes, I want him in AEW. It'd be incredible if I see him show up at All In. Even if I don't see him show up at All In, I want him in AEW. But it's going to be interesting. We're going to have a conversation next week. We're going to shelve another thought that I had, and I'll give it to you right now, is who right now in this moment cares more about putting on the best show possible for their fans? Is it WWE or is it AEW? And I want you to kind of think about that over the next week, because that is a fully loaded. To think
about. No, it's not.
No, but it is when we really start deep diving it. Believe me, because whatever you think, I have something to completely say you're on. Whatever side that you're on.
That's
so
fine.
We're gonna hold
but
that
that's
for
right.
next
That's
week.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna hold that for next week. But I do just feel like for Ilya Dragunov, where does he fit in AEW? Because yes, it would be tremendous as a Detroit Lions fan if we could get Patrick Mahomes for free, meaning you don't have to give somebody up. And it would be tremendous if a couple years ago we also could get Tom Brady on the Detroit Lions. But I don't need Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, and Jared Goff on the same team. But I do need a tight end. I do need an offensive lineman. There's different positions on wrestling television for people. like WWE, you still need, in my opinion, you need people who can just work, your workhorses. Go out there and give me 10. Go out there and give me 8 minutes. And we're going to talk about Dragon Lee here too. You best believe we're going to talk about Dragon Lee and Phoenix with that match they had on Raw. But it's just, I think it's a slippery scale right now with the people who are being released from WWE, the people who are deciding not to re-sign with WWE. And there's going to be a lot of people that AEW can bring on. And unlike where they were when they first came aboard, where they needed more talent, you look at their roster and you say, like, we're good. And we know Tony don't like believe in like releasing people, even though he may not use them. He'll have somebody sitting home for a year and a half, but
Dr. Breakker,
he ain't gonna release them early.
She's still under contract, isn't she?
Whoever you're talking about, yes. Whoever you're talking about. There's a lot of people that's sitting at home right now, Rhodesia. On both shows. But yeah, I mean, so I guess really my question, you can speak on Ilya leaving WWE, but my question to you for this topic is, because what I got a lot of from comments when I put that out there was, oh, man, it's so crazy. Talking heads have their favorites, and then when their favorites don't get over, they blame everybody else. And we're going to get to tribalism also too, because I got a hilarious story to share, Rhodesia, of something that happened Monday night. Okay. But for me, it's not even about that. It's about needle movers in wrestling. Like Ilya Dragunov leaving WWE and going to AEW, from a business perspective, probably doesn't move the needle. Ilya Dragunov joining AEW may not even move the needle in regards to wrestling matches, because they already have some of the best wrestling matches you can find.
Mm-hmm. Best wrestlers there.
Right? I think it would, but maybe not. Somebody could say, hey, they're already at a 9, and Ilya, with whoever spot he's going to take, because it's real estate on TV, you only got 2.5 hours. If you bring somebody else on, somebody's got to be taken off. Whoever they take off, maybe also was the one that contributing to that 9 on the wrestling level. And Ilya Dragunov now is just doing a 9-2. He's just working different people or a different style. But like, who are actual needle movers in professional wrestling, where if they go somewhere, you are going to actually see a bump in attendance, in quality of performance, and like in ratings? And I don't think there's many, but I would love to get your thoughts.
I'll answer that first. So I would think that the true needle mover, so again, these are the people who are, I'm now going to buy a ticket to go to this show because of this person, and or I'm going to now pay for this pay-per-view or whatever streaming service to be able to watch this person wrestle. It is truly who's at the top. So if you go on the guy side, you have your Roman, Cody, Punk. You go to the women's, you have like a Becky Lynch, you have a Charlotte Flair. We had Mercedes, formerly Sasha Banks, and pretty much
we had, or we have.
Well, I mean, okay, no. If Mercedes left AEW and came back to WWE, I think she would need a move over there
would
too.
Would you say she's a needle mover in AEW as Mercedes Moné?
I would only imagine that she has been. Yeah, I would only imagine, because when she first came back and debuted, I heard that you told me that in the ball, wherever she was at, they had sold extra more seats because they announced she was coming or something along those lines. So I'm confident just from even seeing the gear that people wear at the AEW shows for Boss. So I would imagine that she's a needle mover there. So that's on WWE side. On AEW side, I think you probably have, you got MJF. He's going to need a move wherever he goes. You had Kenny Omega, but of course, with his health in the last few years of his career, again, him not being in the front seat, that kind of not tarnished his legacy, but it has kind of removed him from that needle mover conversation.
So are you saying that he is the main event of their biggest show of the year and he's not a needle mover right now?
I thought you were talking about okay. So I'm talking about if they went somewhere else. So you just
I'm just saying who are actual needle movers in wrestling? Everybody
who's on top right now is pretty much their needle mover. I mean, that's the whole point of why they are at the top, because they are essentially bringing more money into the company. That's the reason why they staring at the top. So yeah, so you got Kenny Omega, MJF. You have Will Ospreay with the potential over there. I do believe Willow can move money there, and then Mercedes on AEW. But those are the people who are the champions and who are at the top. So those are the true, I feel, needle movers. Now, as far as the Ilya Dragunov piece that you said, he is not personally a needle mover. No. So I'm not going to say I'm going to go to this show or pay for this ticket just to go see Ilya. No, I probably won't even buy his gear. No. But in totality, what that tight end can do for that team is now bring that team from a 500 season to now into the playoffs, late in the playoffs. So it overall make that whole team better. It's like a recipe. You had that secret ingredient. We're talking about the Krabby Patty, that little plankton been trying to find from SpongeBob what that secret ingredient is. That could be Ilya. So no, not him personally is going to needle move, but if that can bring your company up, indirectly, he did move the needle. We know sometimes that people can come on that does no effect to it. Again, you had mentioned like the 96% or 92% of the company. It's still the same. You just take one person out and put the other person in, but the person that you took out contributed the same amount. But no, I just think that overall he would make that company bigger.
Better.
Needle move.
Better.
I would say
Yeah, I don't know if he makes AEW bigger. Is my point.
Better. I'm sorry, no, better.
Yeah, I absolutely think he's gonna make him better. For me,
better, not bigger.
I'm not missing out, and I would probably go out of my way to watch an Ilya Dragunov match on Collision if it was like, say, if he was by some chance, some way, Collision specific. I would go out of my way to watch Ilya Dragunov matches. Me personally, Matt, wrestling fan, is going to go watch Ilya Dragunov. If he is on Dynamite, I'm not missing any of his matches. Right, he would be appointment viewing for me in AEW for any of the bigger matches.
Another concern, though, when you talk about Ilya and you talk about any great positional player, what's going to happen after the new shininess wears off?
And there you go. That's the argument.
That's the argument
with AEW, right? And this is not comparing, we're not comparing AEW and WWE in this argument, but we've seen it numerous times. We get somebody to show up, and then the follow-up isn't the best or is non-existent after either the debut or the first feud.
Right.
And I'm a big in the momentum. You know that. I'm big in the momentum. And there's just times where they miss the boat with that. So yeah, when Ilya debuts, if he debuts, the New Day, when they debut, if they debut, of course I have them debuting Sunday. And I think they'll be fine because they'll be with Swerve, and I'm going to assume they will win the trios titles. But what does the next 2 or 3 feuds look like? How do we keep their momentum? And I just think that's one of the biggest opportunities for AEW is keeping that momentum. But their talent roster is so thick and so stacked. And that's why I started this whole thing by saying the roster was a little bloated. Because, I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. Last week on Dynamite, Jon Moxley wrestled Switchblade Jay White. Yeah, it was part of the tournament. That is a regular match on Dynamite now. Like, whoa. These two massive guys, good match too. But it's just like, that's a ho-hum regular Wednesday match now. And the roster is just so big and so talented.
That being a problem with the bloatingness, but I still can appreciate that. I can still appreciate the fact that AEW has kind of always been the place to watch a lot of great matches. Now, again, this is not the argument of great matches is better for wrestling or not. I'm just saying that I feel like when I do tune in to AEW, minus some of their hiccups and like unbelievable things that's just not really believable at all, when you just freely watching AEW, it is very exciting television. And so in order to still be that way, you probably have to have a lot of shiny toys. It's just, again, for their sake, how do we keep them like that later? That's not our problem to even worry about. But I can appreciate that strategy. You bring them in as hot as they can come in. Yeah, you got some opportunity on the back end, but at least the product I am watching week to week is very exciting. the pay-per-views are very exciting. So I don't know how to wrap that comment up, but to me, their TV is the TV is exciting.
Somebody left a comment on Facebook under this whole situation and said, if you were starting a wrestling promotion right now, who are you signing? Danhausen or Ilya Dragunov?
I can't give anything extra. I just have to answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, you can give extra.
No, that's it. Because we're moving on to Raw.
Danhausen.
And that was that person's point. Who said that? I was like, you asshole.
Why would you have to ask questions like that? You knew that we had it. Just like how you asked me KO and CM Punk who's going to win.
I'm saying Dragunov just to spite. No, because I can make a Danhausen, even though Danhausen's on fire with his merchandise.
Right.
I don't know. I would just get
and Danhausen can still wrestle. That's the reason why I picked Danhausen. He's still a wrestler.
Hey, Les Hausen still. No Danhausen on Raw.
Les Hausen.
I call him Les Hausen.
Les Hausen.
All right, Monday Night Raw. Biggest thing for me was the contract signing. Bron Breakker and Oba Femi. Okay. Mm-hmm. Very nice promo from Bron Breakker.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Bron.
Yeah. 4 weeks in, 3 weeks in. Showing a lot.
And then that big ass Nigerian giant. Is he Nigerian?
He's Nigerian. Or that's how they're booking him as. They called him Nigerian. So just like I thought Kofi was. What did I think he was? I think he was Jamaican before.
Well, Omos. What is Omos? Isn't Omos Nigerian too?
I think he might be Nigerian as well.
So we just putting everybody from Nigeria? No, we gotta.
No. I think Kofi was Jamaican originally.
Oh no, yeah, we're not talking about Kofi. He's gone now. he's not going to have a semblance of an accent this Sunday. Okay, so that's not happening. But very nice promo from Bron Breakker, and then Oba Femi picks up the microphone and does an awesome promo. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching. Well, this told me a couple of things. Let me set up for this one real quick. It told me a couple of things when I was watching this. Number one, Bron Breakker is going to be him. Oba Femi is him. That was number one. Number two, what this told me, and we talked about it last week, without a shadow of a doubt, we are not getting a clean finish at Saturday night's or Sunday night's main event. Without a shadow of a doubt. Because Bron Breakker can't lose right now to Oba Femi. And
we know Oba
Femi is not going to lose to Bron Breakker. Not by a pinfall. Not by submission. He's not. Maybe count out DQ. But this is what I think is going to happen, Rhodesia. I love the physicality. Afterwards, big boys doing big boy shit. It was fantastic. It was there with the strikes. They did what they needed to do.
His dick got hard too. I'm sorry. Continue.
All right, you good?
I'm just saying, by the end of all of that, I was like, homeboy probably needed to wear some thicker briefs because those boxers is just not working. Sorry.
You just said he. There's a lot of guys that was involved in that segment, but I don't care.
No,
so don't even worry about it.
We know one big dick that was hanging out.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Go back and watch it at the end after he got finished beating everybody up.
Evidently some dick, according to Rhodesia.
Jinx.
Jesus, my God, man. That was nasty.
Go back.
You know what?
Go back and watch that.
On
Ladies,
you,
go back
Rhodesia.
and watch. And guys who like that, go back and watch.
On you, okay?
I don't give a shit about that.
Hit it 2 times. You just came out of nowhere. You got like Tourette's. I was watching. She got married. So if anybody watches like TLC,
she did.
I forgot what the name of the show is. But this lady, woman has Tourette's, and it's a whole show just about her having Tourette's. And like her main go-to line over the last couple of weeks was like, "Twist my dick" and something. I can't remember, but she said it while they were getting married. But they were doing like the bridal shower and stuff, and she bust up in there. And last night she was just like, "Look, Tourette's is happening today, so just bear with me." And then she was going for it. Yeah, she was telling everybody to twist the dick. So I don't. Maybe you have Tourette's.
No, I don't have
now.
Tourette's. But again, go back and watch after. I mean, he's literally his dick got hard after he got beat
I'm not
everybody.
going back to watch to see somebody's. Yeah, like I'm good.
But
Okay?
I'm talking to the fan. I'm talking about to the listeners and the viewers.
Okay.
If you want to see a big Nigerian,
hey, man,
big Nigerian penis.
I mean, this is for the freaks. But I just didn't
go
think
and
we
watch the end of that promo.
Yeah.
Just go back and watch the contract.
If I knew we was just letting like that kind of talk go, I would be talking more about leaving just tips for
come on
Stephanie
over the
Becker
last 3 years. No, first off, of the last 3 years, I had to sit here and listen to a whole bunch of women salivating, or y'all salivating over a woman. So I can go over here and talk
incorrect.
about.
You have never heard me salivate over a woman on this podcast.
Okay.
Ever. But it don't. Hey, I see it's all bets are off now. We locked in now.
But I don't care for that dick. I'm just saying that mug was hard and it was unnoticeable.
Let me think. This weekend we are going to have.
We got Will Ospreay, so we can go back and talk about his great pants, sweatpants. But he's married now. I can't talk about him.
Okay, we're going to have that. We're going to have Megan Bain. Okay, she'll be on. All right, next week I'm gonna have a review of AEW All In. Can't wait. But before I was interrupted
Big
about
titty Megan Bain. That's how you gonna start it. Big titty Megan Bain.
Maybe that's got a nice ring to it. But what this told me though, I'm watching it, and we talked about last week. Can't be a clean finish. Bronson Reed returning at Sunday night's main event. And the awesome thing about this, why this works so well. So shout out to them for putting. Remember, I said last week, like, yo, I'm just kind of really surprised, but I love it that they're putting this match on Sunday night's main event. It's not a major PLE. What I was thinking last week was maybe they go DQ count out finish. Then we get this match again at Money in the Bank, which is the reason why neither one are in the Money in the Bank. And that maybe can still happen. I don't think that's going to happen right now. I think right now this is a one-off with no finish. Protects everybody involved. You get Bronson Reed, a returning Bronson Reed, to show up. And maybe we see if he's still aligned with Bron Breakker and Paul Heyman. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's out for self. I don't know that part. But I know at this point, you cannot afford to have Oba beat Bron, because that does nothing for Bron. I don't give a damn if Bron Breakker then destroys Austin Theory. And
yeah, it doesn't matter. Yep.
Nope, because there's already a sizable gap right now in perception and even in that promo segment. And I loved everything that Bron was saying. So much so. Look, man, I was the future, then I got hurt. You ain't done nothing. Okay, you beat Brock Lesnar. What else you done around here? You won the King of the Ring. Whoop-de-doo. You ain't won no championships. You ain't doing nothing. I was the guy until I got hurt. By myself, I might add, because nobody here was man enough to do it. Great material. I mean, Oba kind of just shit on all of it. I was like, yo, this guy
Oba just had that, like
tremendous.
your analogy was perfect. You know, Bron is gonna be him where Oba is him. Oba has just some confidence because, again, Bron pretty passionate and honest in his conversation to him, and then Oba just sat back, grabbed a mic, and just started spitting like, all right, well, that really doesn't faze me. I mean, and like that would probably irk me even more. Like, are you serious? I'm up here passionate as hell, and I met with just somebody just cool, calm, and collected.
Still telling jokes. Called him Orange Man. It is so now, like, he's checking off what I was talking about months ago when I kept saying, like, let's not compare these two, because they've had Bron do a lot of different stuff that if you're going to be
Oba
like the next top guy,
right.
maybe we wouldn't be doing that. Okay, to your point. We've seen Oba now cut extremely intense promos. We've now seen him cut a laid-back promo. We've seen Oba do comedy. Of course, we've seen the physicality. He is a complete superstar right now. But yeah, we get Bronson Reed back, and then you pivot to Bronson Reed and Oba Femi, and then you leave Oba Femi and Bron Breakker for when we need to pick this back up again. And maybe we don't pick this back up again until this is damn near a main event of a WrestleMania. Right? But I thought this is awesome. And like I said, whoever put this together, shout out, because neither one is going to get hurt from this program. They may both even get a little elevated from it, but we're not getting the finish right now. And I think that's great. And what does that do for a returning Bronson Reed? Which word is that came out last week too, that he's about ready to return. And they're saying that he's going to be a top heel in the company upon his return. Unless he is getting involved with the Bloodline story, or he's getting involved with CM Punk
and
Kevin Owens on SmackDown. This is the spot that he's going to be in.
Good job, guys.
You brought him up. If you ain't got nothing else,
Royce Keys.
We got a new faction.
I would start with this. Interesting. I think the group was called OTM. I think I remember them from somewhere, but I don't know their work at all. So it is interesting. This is one of those moves that WWE surprised me on. Again, we're getting somebody introduced that I didn't think that was going to be called or be on the main roster. But I will just say just this.
Did he have a big dick too when he came out?
No, I'm not purposely looking at people's penises. I'm just saying you could not see it.
Penis.
If you were watching,
it was a dick 5 minutes ago, and now it's a penis. You got it, man.
What I would say about Royce is that this looks more like his character. Like when the beatdown was happening and he stumping people out in his Timbos, like to me, this looks like the better Royce Keys when he is this. I know you told me when he first debuted and they had to tell that backstory, that was to gain interest so you can actually like understand who this guy is. I get that part of it. But to me, that kind of good guy Royce just didn't feel authentic for me to invest my interest in him. Now, him coming out being this hard ass dude, not talking about penises, talking about just hard.
Yeah,
for
right.
me, I can get behind. I can get behind this. I can absolutely get behind this Royce Keys. That's this tough dude.
Surprising. No, I don't think nobody saw it coming. Thought it was a really nice debut for OTM and him. To your point, they look like they fit for sure. Anybody who doesn't watch NXT, I don't think that even takes away from it. If you don't know them, if you do know them, they have the look. Now, in the ring right now, that's still a thing to be talked about.
But maybe they're not needed to do that.
Well, you got to be
like
just
enforcers.
Good enough. For this type of storyline, be just good enough. Be just good enough. Royce can do the heavy lifting, and you can be good to go. But I think my biggest takeaway from what we saw was, why the hell did Royce Keys act like we didn't know who he was? Big black jack dude with a mask on.
Listeners. Halfway
come in there.
Only halfway.
He pulled a mask down and give a smile like we're not supposed to know who he was. I think Royce was like, okay, yeah, I watched enough WTV. I know like how to do a reveal. The black hoodie guys always come out, or black hoodie girls always come out, and then they take it off and then they show their face, right? And I think he thought he had to do the same thing when he pulled his mask down. It's like, Royce, we knew who you were as soon as we saw you on camera, brother. We didn't need the slow pull down of the mask and then the smile and reveal. I was like, brother, think we don't know who he is.
He thought he had something on the top too. I think he really thought he had something on the top.
He thought, but he could be right, because when he pulled it down, the crowd did kind of pop a little bit. And holy hell, that was the worst crowd all year so far. WWE put them on the list, put Ottawa on the list, put them on the list with all the other trash ass cities that y'all go to that don't get responses. Nah, man, they don't deserve another show until 2035.
Yo,
and it was a double taping
so
too.
So much could change by then.
So they tape SmackDown. I can't wait to see WWE like sweeten the crowd noise this Friday.
But they did that in the past. Ain't nothing different. Remember when SmackDown? I don't know if they still. I don't think they do it anymore.
They don't.
But I remember once they used to pipe in the noise for SmackDown. That shit used to bother me so bad because I could hear that constant buzzing, and it was like, oh my god, stop! This is awful.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
They're gonna do it this Friday.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. But all seriousness, I think my biggest takeaway was good for Royce, of course, and good for this storyline. Good for this storyline. There was some talk. People were talking online like, why did Royce Keys beat up the Bloodline too.
That's my sentiment too. Yeah. Or even his LA Knight and Solo.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant when I said Bloodline. Completely my fault. Solo and LA Knight. Because nobody saved him from getting killed by Jacob Fatu. That's why.
Pharisees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I got beef with Jimmy and Jay and LA Knight and Solo. Y'all knew what it was. We tagged at SummerSlam. I had y'all back. But then when I needed some help, nobody got me. Okay, cool. I'll go get my own guys. We cool. I ain't got to trust none of y'all. So I thought that was good. Enjoyed that. I do think it's funny, right? Like, and shout out to Jonathan Coachman, coach who used to be on WWE. I think he has a show on a Sirius radio. But I say shout out just because shout out. But it's funny to me, like, and Coach, and see now because of the content game, you got to look and see when people are saying something for just content, which is probably all the time, or like what they really think. Coach has been very vocal on critiquing WWE, as anybody should if they think something's wrong. That's not the point. I saw a video of him after Raw, and he's like, 3 quick highlights, I want to talk about. And one was about Solo's LA Knight was his first one. And he goes, somebody from WWE finally in the back is paying attention to LA Knight. And it's like, ride the hot hand. You get somebody going, get after. He's been hot. He is hot. Roll with him. Then he goes, I think Solo Sikoa, he says. And he's like, sometimes you got somebody who has a personality, they just haven't had the opportunity. Give them the opportunity and look what can happen. I forgot whatever his third one was. Doesn't matter. But the reason why I brought it up, specifically, Rhodesia, is this has already been planned. And Coach should know this. Once again, I'm sure it's probably just for content. But like, I can't do just the content thing. I say that now. I'm going to start like just saying shit probably in a couple months.
If you start talking about Nigerian dicks,
I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do that. Real quick side tangent. I have a big problem with people not being authentic. And I've talked to you about.
You try to call me out or something?
No.
Oh.
I've talked to you about this on just like some real life stuff, like kind of what I want to do with content and what I want to do with things of that nature just in life. And one of those things is like, helping people, right? Being a positive influence, inspiration for people. I have a lot to give, I know, internally. And I guess evidently I've watched one too many like inspirational talking heads on social media, because what I have noticed over the last couple weeks is they all just say the same thing. And unfortunately, what I've noticed is they all say the same thing word for word, because that is what the algorithm picks up that pushes things out to the masses. So they do that. So much so, they say the same thing in the same inflection now.
Same cadence and everything, huh?
Same cadence and everything. Male, female, don't matter. And I'm just like, how inauthentic is this? Right? So for me, that is full transparency. Why I haven't started putting that type of content out, because I'm not one that is going to say something and then find somebody else who says something and then just say what they say. Or, hey, this video worked, so I'm going to just make this same video once a week and say the exact same thing. So I got to figure that out. So I just wanted to share that one. But I take it back to Coachman, because I think there's no way that he truly believes some of the stuff that he says. And this is one, because he says like, LA Knight is finally getting going. Somebody's listening. Ride the hot hand. We've seen for months this is where this was heading. Was LA Knight and Roman Reigns.
He couldn't keep that name out his mouth.
This just didn't start 2-3 weeks ago. This started months ago. After Clash in Italy, when Jacob lost to Roman Reigns cut a promo after that match. And Roman Reigns basically was talking his shit. Hey, I know everybody's scared of the bloodline. Look what we got. And I don't care who you are. Roman Reigns says, LA Knight, Royce Keys, they all scared. None of this is, somebody's gotten over, so let's hot shot this. You're not hot anything with a Roman Reigns program. Newsflash, everybody who was listening, I am sorry if you are not a Roman Reigns fan. Roman Reigns is not dropping his title till he probably gets to Oba Femi. Okay? Sorry, LA Knight. Sorry, Royce Keys. Sorry, whoever else is going to come and challenge Roman Reigns. We are going to get some very good TV out of it. I think everybody's going to get a bump in popularity or the rub, but Roman isn't dropping this title. I said after WrestleMania, we're in for a long Roman Reigns title reign.
Yeah.
We've got stories we need to tell. We have people we need to get over. Now, by some chance, would we drop the title to LA Knight for a couple weeks or months? I don't think so. Okay, but I guess for me, I just wanted to say that because, no, Coach, this isn't a thing of like somebody just got hot and they're riding with them. This has been the plan. Solo, getting the ball. I'm sure it's probably been the plan. And another great week for Solo. When he hit the Matrix after the warning shot, I was like, he did it again. That was probably my favorite one. That was even better to me than when he ducked it.
The duck one was the funniest for me because I just didn't expect it.
And you expected the Matrix?
But I had already had the duck to start it.
With LA Knight?
I already had the duck beforehand.
You were just mad because Solo didn't have his dick hard, I guess, when he did the Matrix. That's what
I am not looking at people dicks, and I'm not caring if they're hard.
Man.
The only dick hards I'm worried about is yours. So I don't care about anybody. I'm just saying that I saw a hard Nigerian dick.
We can end this show. Thank you guys for listening. We'll get you the All In preview next. We'll talk about whatever else. We got to go.
All right, jeez Louise. Oh man, you got me confused. What were we just talking about? See?
I was talking about
thinking about your hard dick got me kind of going different places now. Coach man. The only thing I will say is, and I think that is much different than what you were referring to as far as the motivational speakers just rehashing the same thing of everybody else. I think maybe for Coachman and in that 3 breakdowns was just very common sense. Like, no shit, Sherlock. But, and like you said, for him, you know that's not really the case because it's been work. All of this is a work.
That's the inauthentic part I'm talking, right?
Yeah.
Right? That's the inauthentic part. Like it wasn't that, LA just really outperformed somebody about a month ago and they were like, you know what? It's time to heat up LA Knight. This has been the plan during the Roman Reigns title reign.
I think the only person that's probably like on the grand stage that has been they heated up or they outperformed, I think is Oba. I think Oba came to the main roster with some very high standards, some high praises, and that they wanted so much out of him. And then when he got into that, he actually took that and blew that out the water. And I think that probably was the last one in a very long time that somebody has came and like outperformed and okay, now maybe we should switch some things around because again, we thought it was going to get Gunther canceling out Brock. Nope. Let's get Oba to go against Brock. So for sure, I just think Coach Man was just saying that one again, it's the content game. Hey, I want somebody to click and listen. What am I going to say? What am I going to do?
And I think I could promise you guys, any fans of this platform, you are not going to hear something that comes out of our mouth that we are just doing just for the content. Yes, we will elaborate or not elaborate. We will exasperate. What's the word? Exaggerate.
Exaggerate, exasperate.
We would do all that. But yeah, you ain't never got to worry about.
For me, I am still a bit inauthentic. Matt has said that I've gotten better. But yeah, I mean, I think about another 100 episodes from now, y'all gonna be like, whoa, this Rhodesia is a lot different than what we thought on episode 1.
Who becomes more authentic first? Cody Rhodes as a heel or Rhodesia on the TFW podcast? Which one comes first?
Probably Cody, because he has more at-bats.
Good God.
He's more at-bats at this. No, that's a props for him. It's probably more at-bats for him because
but if
he's been in front of
Cody
tens of thousands of people
for another 5 years.
Sweetheart, if I still get at 135 beats per minute before we start recording and it's just me looking in the camera,
you gotta do more cardio. Get your heart held up. That's all you gotta do. That's it. I thought about making some new music because I got a new segment.
Oh,
but then I found like the perfect thing besides that. And the new segment is, let's tune in for the update on Javon Evans and Roxanne Perez. There is no update on Javon Evans and Roxanne Perez.
Not fair on Javon. We still have about 25 days left of summer.
That's great. That's a story that I got to share with you. So then let's start with Roxanne Perez. Hey, Rhodesia, Roxanne Perez has lost 21 of 25 matches this year total. 2 weeks ago, I gave you her TV record. Because I was like, maybe she's killing shit on these house shows. They are bringing house shows back. No, Roxanne's not killing anything but her body. 21 losses out of 25 matches. Now, of course, I knew Roxanne Perez was not beating Stephanie.
Time out. So I was channeling then the Roxanne total matches. You drugged me under the mud a couple weeks ago because she's like, she hasn't been on TV that many times.
Yeah,
you're right. She wasn't on TV.
Very specific.
But I thought you were being Pacific. I thought you was being Pacific. So that's why I was in totality. Sense. So go ahead. So she's 21 and 25. Meaning she's lost,
she's not 21 25.
No,
she's only won 4 matches this year.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. She lost 21 of 25 matches.
Once again, I knew she wasn't going to beat Stephanie. That's common sense. But God, man. And I liked the match. I really did. That was a really good match. Actually,
especially
which
for
I knew it would be.
Stephani's first match back. I mean, that's always you kind of cross fingers on. Like, how does that? There's especially if you've been injured.
I know what you mean.
Anxieties.
But that wasn't a worry for me at all. 2 segments. They covered the time. Really good match. But yeah, like 21 losses out of 25 matches. I mean, she ain't getting over nowhere. Now I would love to see the 4 matches she won. Maybe I'll pull that up next week and see what that was. We're gonna deep dive Roxanne's 4 wins. And unfortunately, it's only 4 wins. So that's probably like a 6-minute segment.
What if you find out like she won by default on some things? You would be so pissed. You would be even more pissed. Maybe we shouldn't go back to deep dive her 4 wins. Maybe we should just let it be.
Then we got Javon. Hey, look, Javon Evans. Javon Evans loses to Big Cass. Now, once again, I know Big Cass was going to beat Javon Evans. And how do I know that? You don't re-debut a monster heel and have them lose in their first match, let alone have them lose their first feud. But this is what I want to tell you really quick, Rhodesia. And I want to tell anybody out there that tribalism is a disease. Okay? And there's levels to this disease. And there's levels to tribalism. Now, let's start with level 1 of tribalism. And level 1 of tribalism is, I like one thing, I don't like the other thing, I just rock with the one thing. If somebody brings up the other thing to me, if somebody brings up the other thing to me, I hit them with a quick jab. Then I don't watch that stuff. We laugh about it, we keep moving. Cool. I love that type of tribalistic fan.
Yeah, I can't rock with them. Yeah,
cool.
And they know what they know. They know already. Hey, I don't want to watch that. Yep.
Then we start getting into a little bit of uncharted territory. Okay. Then we get to level 2, because there's 3 levels of tribalism. Then we get to level 2 of tribalism, Rhodesia. And level 2 of tribalism is, I love this, I hate this, and you're stupid for liking this.
That's level 2?
That's level 2 of tribalism, Rhodesia. I don't rock with level 2 of tribalism. Okay? That's level 2. Because it don't get real bad, though, till we get to level 3 of tribalism. This is when I feel like, oh, now I know why when I was in grade school, they separated the good kids from the bad kids. Because you're not supposed to intermingle or intertwine with the others. You're supposed to stay with who you are, so you don't allow them to infect the others. One bad apple does ruin the whole bunch. This is level 3 of tribalism. Level 3 of tribalism is, I am so tribalistic that what I enjoy has never been bad. They've never done anything wrong, and I am going to cape for them no matter what, each and every time, because everything is perfect. I'm so deep into the tribalism that I can't even see when something went wrong. or something is wrong. And oh yeah, everything on the other side is the worst thing ever, and you are stupid for enjoying that, and I hope you die. That is like level 3 tribalism. I ran into a level 3 tribalismer on Monday. I ran into him.
Okay.
Actually, I kind of ran into 2, and shout out to my one guy, but he's also level 3. So I'm on X doing Raw, and Javon Evans loses. So, of course, you know what I do? I quote tweeted with the video. Hey, Paul Heyman, got a month. Right? And it was a quote tweet of a WWE tweet of Big Cass beating Javon Evans.
Okay.
So, of course, the vast majority of people understand and they agree. Even probably some level 2ers.
Yeah.
Not the level 3ers, Rhodesia. Not the level
Okay.
3ers. So, one guy who never says anything bad about WWE, but always says something bad about AEW. Shout out to you. He quote tweets it and was like, respectfully, brother, Javon Evans is young. Like, he gets big pops. He's on TV weekly. I don't know what more of that you want. So I respond.
But that was cool.
Say,
that was good.
For sure. That was just, like, you know, hey, that's what I said. Cool. And I say, that's not the argument. Argument is Paul Heyman said that by the end of the summer, we need to make Javon Evans an attraction. Oh shit! Now we get a level 3er coming in.
Wait, time out. Okay, so level 2er, he's out of the conversation right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
and like,
so he comes level 3.
Yeah, because like he's also teetering to level 3, but he's not full blown.
Got it. He's like a closet.
We got a full blown level 3er that comes in now.
So what happened?
Level 3er says, what do these people want? Like, what do you mean what you said? Like, Javon Evans lost one match. He's on TV every week. He'll be fine. I said to him, and I will repeat again, Paul Heyman said, Paul fucking Heyman said on an interview 2 months ago, if Javon Evans is not basically in a higher spot than he is right now, we've done something wrong. Because 2 months ago, you don't say this person should be an attraction if they are already an attraction. Pretty common sense, right?
Bingo.
Pretty common sense. And we're talking about Paul Heyman here. We're not talking about Joe Smo off the street. We're talking about somebody who works in the company. We're talking about somebody who has built countless wrestlers. We're talking about one of the best minds in the history of professional wrestling is saying this about this young guy named Javon Evans. Level 3er comes back. Level 3er says, oh, so I guess now I just see that we just take anybody's word and we don't form our own opinions. Got it. Okay, I mean, if you want to argue with Paul Heyman, it's cool. But when I looked at the tweet, I saw I couldn't respond to it. I was like, no way this person just blocked me.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Go to his profile. Level 3er has blocked you. I was like, yo, I hollered. And not for anything else there wasn't no name talk calling. And I'll, you know what I'm going to do on the video? We're going to pull up the tweet so people can see. It wasn't no name calling. It wasn't no disrespect. That level 3er was so deep in having their thoughts challenged that maybe WWE is not perfect. That maybe by some chance there is professional wrestlers and superstars in WWE that should be handled better than what they are at this current moment. So much so to the point of Paul Heyman saying, hey, we're going to make sure we get this guy where they need to. That person can handle that. That person blocked me. That is a level 3 tribalism, Rhodesia. And that is a disease.
Okay. So in all fairness, because I just want to recap.
Okay.
The original responder tweeter, level 2, I think he could honestly be a level oneer. I think he
no,
just
I'm telling you he's not. No, I only shared that part. I'm gonna let you get it off.
He has a track record. He has a track record. Okay, got it. Okay,
so we
keep him level 2.
Anytime I put up a video that is challenging something in WWE, the level 2er has got something to say. I mean, he always gonna say with all due respect, and he's gonna throw a brother in there to make sure that we ain't got no beef or anything like that. But I had to the only thing that I've ever seen from this person that was negative on WWE. Oh, the level 2er. This is the only thing. Now, we've seen some really bad things in WWE over the last 16 months. Right? You've had plenty of opportunities to say something you don't like. And I'm not about just going out and complaining because I hate that side too. There's a lot of accounts where I'm like, you know what? Can you please just stop watching? But I know you're doing it for rage bait. I know you're doing it because it works. I saw somebody say, yeah, I was expecting a little bit more out of Roxanne and Stephanie. And I don't even want to shout out that account. Once again, you have your thought process. But if you watch Roxanne versus Stephanie, knowing what that match was for, knowing this wasn't a PLE match, knowing this was not a match to set up a program with them two, this is more about Becky Lynch, this is more about Liv Morgan, this is more about Judgment Day. If you walked away from that match saying, oh, I expected more, okay, you know what? I know who you are. I know what you are. Same with people who complain about the Bloodline. There's another account always shitting on the Bloodline. But boy, were they quiet as a whore in church last week when Solo Sikoa turned on Roman Reigns. I didn't see anything. Oh, but they were the same person who was throwing out and touting Netflix numbers and the Raw 3 weeks ago was the lowest episode of Raw in X amount of years. And guess who was on top? It's the Bloodline. People don't want to see it, but we don't say nothing when numbers show that people are actually tuning into the blind. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm not just saying just be negative to be negative, but the only thing I've ever seen level 2, ironically, was Ilya Dragunov. He said, man, I'm so frustrated sometimes at WWE. That was it, but everything else is beautiful. There is nothing else that ever went wrong on WWE TV in the last 18 to 24 months, according to level 2er. So that's why he's level 2er.
He could be level 1-ish. He could be level 1-ish. He has, at least he has one comment.
He's not level 1. I'm sorry. See, I was trying not to put all his business out in the street.
Okay, that's fine. We don't have to. We don't have to do that. Let's not do that.
No, I'm going to. Sorry, he's a level 2er because everything that AEW does.
Yeah.
No respect for it. Everything negative. AEW surpassed 41,000 seats sold for All In. You know what his response was? Okay.
Congratulations.
No, I said okay. That was it. Just okay. That's it. Just okay.
Well, okay. So to wrap my thoughts on that level 3er that you mentioned, I feel like it should be a different category. I think it should be like level 3A, 3B, or even 4 of just like,
you trying to go deep.
What in the entire fuck? Like, we're not even in the same world. Like, we're not even watching the same thing. So forget the tribalism part of it. Like, we're not even consuming the same thing. Or whatever goes into our brain, how it moves in there, we're not on the same. So how you said separate those people, still we need to be separated. But like, there's no way that you're watching the same thing that I'm watching.
I promise you it is okay to critique what you are watching. They will not get better. They being anything and everything. Imagine if every Marvel fan did not say, yo, things ain't been the same since Endgame.
Yep.
And we were just like, oh no, everything's beautiful. Oh, every show they've done, every movie, Eternals, best movie in the history of Marvel. You think things would have gotten better?
Why you throw shade at Eternals?
I'm just saying. And I thought the movie was cool.
Yeah, I like
it. It wasn't on the level of what we were used to at that time. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, tribalism is a disease, everybody. The only cure is to go outside.
Touch your ass.
That's the only cure. Sorry for that long tangent. I didn't even have that planned, to be completely honest with you. I did want to bring up the guy blocking me, but I didn't have any of the other stuff planned. So we're kind of now.
Took that, so you kind of feel bad about it. You want a hug for it?
I only feel bad because I think we got to shelve one of the things we were going to do. Because after I say what I got to say here, we probably need to go to the All In preview. We will shelve this for next week. And shout out to my guy, Chris. We talked about Chris before. He sent to the group chat, including Brandon. Shout out to Brandon. This picture, and it was a picture of Shawn Michaels standing up. And the picture said, who has to get up for Shawn Michaels to sit down. And it was Randy Orton, it was John Cena, it was CM Punk, it was H, it was Roman, and The Rock. So then for me, that conversation turned into, okay, now just rank these wrestlers. So we have our rankings. We'll do that next week because that's going to be a conversation in itself. But before we get to AEW All In, got to put over Dragon Lee and Fenix from this past Monday's Raw. And I guess for me, go ahead.
I just didn't expect anything less. So again, and it's not fair because they put on such an incredible match that I expect a high standard for them when they wrestle individually. So them together has to be magic to me. And we know that it doesn't always work that way. We know that. But I just had it to such a high standard and they lived up to it. My biggest takeaway is just a mad respect for Dragon Lee. And then even Fenix just putting him up there on his shoulders to show, hey, thank you for making me shine super bright.
Yeah, buddy.
Like the respect and honor.
He was the star of that match. And I'm big on Fenix. And that match was as good as I knew it would be. And that's the thing, right? Mm-hmm. It's time, and I want people to start recognizing Dragon Lee for the extreme talent that he is. And I know we don't talk about Dragon Lee a lot on this show, just because honestly, I don't think many people care to. I mean, nothing's happened where we need to do a deep dive breakdown of Dragon Lee. But I've been on Dragon Lee for years, honestly, for years, and Rhodesia can attest to it. Begrudgingly, little Matt can attest, which he ain't little. Tomorrow we packing him up. He going to college. Our guy is up out of here. But he watched Raw with us, and he's always throwing shade at Dragon Lee. Whenever I bring up Dragon Lee, right? I can't believe. So we really gonna watch a Dragon Lee match in 2026? He's one of those, right? He's one of those.
What level is he? What level is Matthew?
Well, he's not tribalistic. He loves AEW too. So yeah, he's not on that list at all. Now, if we were talking about the level of Dragon Lee hater, he's 2.95.
Was a 3. He was a 2.9.
No, because if he was a 3, he wouldn't even watch the match.
True.
Right?
True.
You know how that goes. Yeah. What a match, man. The match of the tournament, for sure. I had somebody, and shout out to you. I had put the video up yesterday just about when we talked to Chad Gable and Rey Mysterio about that being WWE TV match of the year. And he responded and he was like, Fenix and Dragon Lee just entered the chat. And I was like, we're going to talk about that on today's pod. But yeah, I mean, I don't have it, of course, as better than Rey and Chad, but boy, it's up there. It's a top 5 match of the year. TV match for WWE. And I think just what I was just so happy with and impressed with is it was Dragon Lee. Fenix did his part, but it's time we give Dragon Lee respect. Dragon Lee is him. And Dragon Lee has done this with heavyweights. He's done this with other cruiserweights. And with the landscape of WWE, it's not like, all of a sudden, let's put the rocket on Dragon Lee. I don't think that's going to happen. But with his run with AJ Styles as tag champs for, last year this time, for those weeks that they had it, he maximizes minutes whenever he's on television. And I just think that needs to be truly, truly highlighted. So shout out to Dragon Lee. Dude, I'm one of your day ones. I knew Dragon Lee before he got in WWE, but he's him. He's another one that, you put him out there, you tell him, hey, man, this is what we need from you. He's going to give you that each and every time.
He slaps a lot, though. That's the only thing I'm going to say. And it's not a bad thing. But, just audibly, you can tell who's working a match because when he's kicking and when he's landing on you, he's slapping that leg hard. He's slapping that to enhance the sound of a smack or a kick or a punch. So anytime I watch Dragon Lee, I know I'm hearing it. It's like, if that was picked up on the mic.
It wasn't, but it got me excited because I know what that sounds like. But you also just said Dragon Lee does what 97% of the wrestlers do now.
Yeah, but he does his a little. His is like he has a microphone on it. Just go. Just pay attention to it. I know you know it.
Hey,
so
man, look.
For the listeners and the watchers, go back and watch his matches. It's super loud. It's like a John Cena. Everybody talks in the ring for sure,
right?
But John Cena be holding full ass conversations in the ring, loud as hell.
Hey man, after we do this double down, let's go for the one spot. Like, yo,
so that
Cena,
Dragon Lee
Cena's
slaps
crazy.
like Dragon Lee slaps like John Cena talking. How about that? Is that better? Everybody do it. Dragon Lee's just turned. It's amplified.
Okay.
Shout out to Dragon Lee.
Shout out Dragon Lee. Blake Monroe, real quick. Yeah. I loved what they did with her and Giulia on SmackDown. And I loved it just because she's sticking to, this is not how you debut me. We've waited months for a Blake Monroe match on SmackDown, and they're leaning into that right now with Giulia. It's very smart. When I saw the match, I'm like, we're really going to have Giulia, who should be getting a new kind of, not even a push maybe, but she's in a different, space now. She's babyface now. She doesn't have Kiana with her anymore, and we're just about to feed her to Blake Monroe because we know Blake's not losing, and we got a no contest match really didn't even start. And she did a promo afterwards saying like, no, I said my debut needs to be for the championship. Thought it was great. I thought that was great. And then my other last thing, and I'll give you your time for your quick hits, is we got a Bayley reference on Monday Night Raw, which was very interesting. Lyra in the back with Sol Ruka and Io Sky. And Lyra comes up trying to talk Sol into giving her the IC title shot in 2 weeks, which I thought was great. I thought it was funny. I don't like now, like, Io is just like a permanent sidekick. Like, she was a sidekick to Rhea, and now she's not even a sidekick to Sol, but now, like, she's scared of Lyra. Like, she scares me. I think it's cute if she wasn't Io Sky. Like, come on now. Io was the best worker in the top of the women's division a year ago. And, like, now she's this, just whatever. But Lyra was like, you saw what I did to Bayley. And that means either one or two things. Either one, they're using Bayley's name to put more heat on Lyra, or Bayley has gotten with WWE and signed an extension, and we're going to see Bayley on WWE TV here soon. If you had to guess, you had to bet, which one are you going with, Rhodesia? Are you going with where you just used it, just don't forget, I killed off a legend, or are we using it because Bayley's coming back to get her revenge?
Bayley's not coming back to get her revenge at WWE. Maybe in her training center, maybe, which is training the next round of young women. Nope, but not in WWE TV.
I'm going to go with the other one. I'm going to say she signed an extension.
Okay, she signed a 60-day extension.
No, I mean, her contract wasn't up till like in the year anyway, so it would be no point in signing a 60-day. She signed on for the time that Ilya didn't want. Okay,
you know what? Actually, my only two hits, you literally took them from me. The first one was on Giulia, and this other one was on Io. And since we're on Io, I'll just ask this because you pretty much said everything that I was about to say to you as far as where we have as in Io now. Do you think at this point she should have a character change? And I don't even know how you change her outside of just being either good or bad. I don't know with that style of wrestling how much you can change it. So I guess my question to you, though, would be, because she is kind of like a nobody right now, would there be a character change for her?
Well, I wouldn't say she's a nobody. She got the King of the Ring bottom third graphic. I was really interested to see that, because every time Oba comes on the screen, they say King of the Ring. And I was really interested. I'm like, okay, well, Io won Queen of the Ring. We really hadn't seen Io since she worked Liv at SummerSlam. I wonder if they were going to show her as the Queen of the Ring, which they did, which I thought that was cool. Keep it for both of them. Yeah, I don't think Io is a non-factor or a nobody right now. I just think there's not a spot for her, and we've seen this in WWE too, right? If you're not in a main storyline, we really don't see you a lot on television. For me, absolutely, I would say, hey, I would want her to be different. But outside of my answer just being, I miss when Io was just a badass, I don't know what that would be. And if she's continuing to get great crowd responses, then maybe this spot for her is working as the cute, lovable Io. That's just what it is, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with this gimmick if we don't know, like, Io is like the genius of the sky, and Io, you know what I mean? It was her and was that. So now when we just see her play just the lovable best friend, she scares me. She's very scary, and it's kind of like, but she, So I guess my answer is like incomplete, but for me, yes. For where they are, maybe not.
Well, keep that same energy with Shinsuke. But back to Giulia. I was calling her Mariah May. So yeah, Blake
Shinsuke's
Monroe.
showing up with a hard dick too on SmackDown?
No, I'm just talking about as far as knowing what they can be and then just saying, okay, that this is what they are. So for Giulia, although this is twofold for me. So although it wasn't actually a match that she lost in against Blake Monroe, it was even worse because she got her ass beat before there was even a match. So are you completely okay with this because you're building Blake Monroe? Or do you feel like as far as with Giulia, she is in a character change right now and she still got her ass whooped, not even in a match?
They protected her because Blake jumped her during Giulia's entrance. That was the protection.
Okay.
She didn't even have a chance to, Now, if that popped off, they both got entrances and that happened, it's like, oh. Giulia, do not answer that Stamford, Connecticut area code phone number.
Or maybe she should.
Yeah, she should. She showed All In too.
Maybe she's right.
We're gonna have the whole damn roster showing up to All In. That show gonna be 12 hours long this Sunday. All just debuts. I'm down. Speaking of, we do have All In this Sunday. We are packing up our apartment. I think our last day here is Monday, but we keeping the TV. We're keeping the 65-inch OLED. The other one got to go. Got to put that in storage, but we're going to have the 65-inch OLED so we can watch All In on television. Of course, we're not going to break down each and every match. Yeah, just the mattress. The bed's got to go.
Just the mattress.
And what I'm sitting on has to go. This painting behind us has to go. So this is not poetic justice, but this is cool, right? I'm just looking around like we got boxes everywhere, bags everywhere, because we're packing up to move and to leave. But like for this to be the last day Matt is with us in this apartment, and it's the day that we're podding this week, there is something like kind of just poetic with that. But you guys are going to see a different background next week, and the funny thing is we have no idea where we're going to be.
Nope,
so
not at all.
We don't know what city we're going to be in. We don't know what state we're going to be in. We don't know what country we're going to be in. But that is going to be the fun part. And I did have a thought a couple of days ago, like, what if like we just take this show like entirely on the road? Like every couple of months, we're just somewhere different, and we'll speak to it and we'll talk about what life is like there. But we don't know.
We don't know.
We'll see. But it's going to be fun to see where we are this time next week.
I have a feeling though next week I'll be in the bathroom. I feel like I'm gonna be in the bathroom set.
Oh, you're gonna just be one of the bathroom joints?
Yeah, yep. Bathroom set up with the ironing board as my actual desk. I already see that coming. So hopefully it's in a good area while I'm in the bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Correct. Don't say because like you got the runs or anything because you had some bad lettuce. No, it's none of that. It's just that could be the space where you can pod where it makes sense. For sure. So okay, what actually, let's just look at the card and we can just talk about like what our top 3 matches are and maybe what we're most looking forward to on the show.
So, am I going over the 8 or we're just
as of right now? There's 8 matches. Dynamite is tonight.
As of right now,
we'll see if Tony adds a couple more and what is going to be on 0 Hour. You best believe he's adding something. But as of right now,
of course,
what are the 8 matches?
Okay, so we have. For the AEW World Championship on top, we have Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Do you just keep going?
Sure. I mean, of course, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I want to hear the card.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then we have the AEW Women's Championship with Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné.
Mm-hmm.
We have the AEW World Tag Team Championship, Cage and Cope versus the Young Bucks. We have the Women's Tag Team Championship, Divine Dominion and the Brawling Birds.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We have the International Championship with Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita,
and
Okada. Man, this just sounds like fire. We have the TNT Championship, the Falls Count Anywhere. I'm not watching this match.
But this match is going to be tremendous.
Kevin Knight
it didn't say
Darby
no, Darby's going to do something crazy. But
of course, that's why I don't want to watch it though.
They are going to show up and show out. Yeah, that just means that we can fight around the stadium and do something crazy. But yeah, it's not going to be like a lights out death match. You're looking at it the wrong way. That's gonna be tremendous.
Darby.
And it's Kevin Knight.
And then
I like it.
And then we have the number 1 spot and number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match with Andrade and MJF.
MJF. Mm-hmm.
And then we have looks like the Continental
finals. Yeah.
Challenge.
So some of the matches are tonight,
Final.
so we don't know what the finals is going to be yet. But I think tonight we get Claudio versus Mox. So 2 Death Rider members, 1-on-1, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that is tonight on Dynamite.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm looking at this card. There's times where I would say, yeah, this would be the one that I'm not excited about. But I'll be honest with you, and it could just be because over the last 4 to 6 weeks, this is the most AEW I've watched in the last year and a half. So maybe that also is playing a part here. But I'm actually, excitement level is high for all these matches. Again, except for the TNT Championship, just because I'm scared watching Darby matches. But I'm actually really invested and excited with all of these, the 7 so far.
Yeah, you're not even done yet. What's the 8th that's listed right there?
No, the 8th was it, the Cup.
No, okay, so the Trios is going to have a match, the Trio Tag Team. That's where we get the New Day with Swerve.
Yep, they're not on here right now.
So, yeah, that's going to be a thing. I don't know if they have officially announced what the match is yet.
Yeah, well, because it's not on here yet, as of right now.
Hangman said in the promo last week that basically anybody can get it, right? Anybody can show up. And then Swerve tweeted out did you say anybody, with a smirk, emoji or something like that. So I don't know if we're getting a triple threat trios. I don't know if it's a fatal 4-way. I don't know what the match exactly is going to be, but we know we're getting that. Man, what a match. I mean, just what a show they got planned.
Yeah, this card is
crazy
incredible
to me that the match I am least looking forward to is the Bucks and Cage and Cole.
I think you feel that way, though, because you had thought maybe there was a chance to introduce New Day there, and then not having that there on top of, we kind of seen this already. I think that's probably why you feel that way. I don't want to speak for you, but I just kind of, that's what
I think it's more of number 2 than number 1, because I thought we already saw that match. It was the triple threat with FTR, but I felt like it at All In.
Same thing. Yeah.
I was expecting TLC, something for it. And of course, we know the match is going to be good. But that's the one, if you had to say, out of all those matches, now who knows whatever else they may add, of course, but out of all those matches, if I had to miss a match, that's the one.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it for everything else.
I'm only missing, again, Darby's match. And I'll hear it, because don't worry, I'll probably be in another room or something like that, and I'll hear you screaming and, oh, holy shit, oh my God, all of that stuff. So
is that what I do? You ain't never heard me say it like that. He was breathing back up from the mic.
I was talking about after the big dick. That's what I was talking about.
I see you taking it, not me. Good God, man, what are we talking about here? This show is off the rails. I'm not going over top 3, but actually it's top 7. I am super excited. Of course, I'm excited about.
Yep.
Yeah. I think Ospreay and Kenny are going to kill. If they don't kill, I'm going to be severely upset. If they don't kill, I think they're going to kill. I think the whole show is going to kill. They know, once again, they know what's at stake. This is going to be a fun show, man. So shout out to AEW. TV has been really good for Dynamite.
Right, they've been storytelling very well. That the tea party that they had with the women's champion, tag team champion,
and that's not on TV. But I was going to say that if you guys have not, check out YouTube. I know it's on YouTube. I'm sorry, I do not know the lady's name. My apologies, but she is doing sit downs. She's done one with Mercedes and Willow, which was incredible. She did one with Megan Bain, and actually it was kind of both tag teams.
Yeah,
but then they just spliced the content together. That was tremendous. She did one with the Bang Bang Gang, which was hilarious. But it's been some fun stuff. So they're doing some good stuff.
I thought that was their TV, but again, you're telling the stories, and that's, I think, probably was the considerable difference for me as a fan of AEW today than maybe the year and a half ago. That a lot of times we get here, we'll see all these faces on these cards. You're like, oh yeah, these going to be match after match, banger after banger after banger. But at least now it's even more of a whoa. But I like the story of where we're at right now, because there's a possibility that I don't know who's going to win. And then be able to put on that card too, that, oh my God, I actually don't know who's going to win, maybe outside of the main event and Will Ospreay. Again, that's my hope. I kind of don't know where the chips are going to fall in some of these other matches. I really don't. I'm just a fan watching the show.
And the same way that I was excited and happy for Seth and Roman for SummerSlam, I'm happy and excited for Will and Kenny, because this is the story they want to tell. And I've been seeing some back and forth on social media about the build to this match. If people like it or not, some people have said like it's way too inside baseball. But to me, this is the epitome of an AEW storyline, because we know AEW is kind of more into the reality storytelling a lot of times, and they have so much history to harken back on. But their sit down promo last week, we sitting here talking about buy rates and attendance for New Japan. No, man, I'm here for it. And because of course I lived through it. Like I knew it. Like all the stuff they were talking about was like
part. Yeah,
was real. It's a shoot. They're not like, it's not revisionist history where none of this stuff kind of happened. Man, New Japan was going through hell during the pandemic, right? And like what they were talking about, and then what Kenny, said, it was just, it's really, really good stuff. So I am happy for them. I can see somebody absolutely saying like, yo, this kind of storyline is a little bit much for me with Ospreay and Kenny. They could have took it a different way. I get it, but I know this is the story that they want to tell. So I'm happy for that. It should be a great show. It should be an absolute great show. I do want to shout out really quick too. Will Ospreay had an interview yesterday, and he shouted out Tony Khan. Rhodesia, guess how much Will Ospreay's neck surgery cost? You're never going to guess the number, just so you know.
199,997.
You're never going to guess the number.
I just gave a number though.
No, so I cut you off to tell you to go higher.
No way. $2 million.
Okay. All right. Pipe down. He didn't get dick enhancement. He got neck surgery. Okay. $420,000. Like, come on, man. But I'm shouting out Tony Khan because Tony Khan paid for the entire thing for him.
Oh my gosh.
Will said, I need to get my house reevaluated, but I believe this house is $420,000. More than that. I saw that bill. He was talking about his neck, of course. I saw that bill and I could not believe it. I'd never seen anything like it before in my life. I could have afforded it. I easily could have, but the fact that Tony did that for me speaks volumes about how much he cares about the talent. You look at something like that, Ospreay's an AEW lifer. He ain't going nowhere. As he shouldn't.
Exactly.
That's incredible.
As he shouldn't. So shout out to Tony Khan for doing that. But in what world, man, $420,000 for surgery? I get it. I do, but that shouldn't cost that much. Like I don't know. That was kind of like, whoa. But I wanted to shout out that last thing, TNA did not TNA. So I said I was coming out Slater
here.
Still exists. His record still exists.
His record exists. So they did not TNA. And shout out to Avery Styles. We just talked about him last week. AJ Styles' son.
Yeah, what's up with him?
He signed with TNA and he said, fuck them chairs. He said he ain't setting up a damn thing. I'm signing to TNA, Bubba.
As he should.
Where my daddy helped build. So shout out to Avery Styles.
He's gonna be the place that runs his place.
Yeah. We'll talk about maybe my perception of Avery Styles. Because I got some thoughts. But he's like running his daddy's gimmick. Same logo, like same thing.
Yeah, the face that runs the place.
That never works. But hey, Avery, listen to last week's pod, man, when I gave you the golden heel persona.
You can make millions of dollars off of this. And we're just asking for a small cut off the top. That's it. Just a small cut.
That's it, right? It's 5%.
You can tax deduct it if you want to. You tax deduct it if you want.
Speaking of, also too, which is just really cool, another thing that's real life, we got our first content creator, what do you call it?
Acknowledge?
Where like,
or
somebody reaches out for us to partner with them, affiliate program, whatever that is. So that was really cool. Got an email last week on that. First of many more, but that was cool, of course, just to see our hard work starting to pay off with having brands reach out to us. So I thought that was tremendous. But last thing, Rhodesia, you said last week you had a Montez Ford album review. You said we'll get to it this week.
How about that?
Yep, I know you did. I got you. And of course, we're not going to allow another week to go by without you telling the fans really quick about the Montez Ford hip hop album. What's your thoughts?
I had thought that after the week I had time to sit with it and listen to it a few more times and come on here and be able to present a better review. I actually didn't go back to listen to it after the first few times I listened to it the first time. Ultimately, what I do remember about
should you wait then? Should you wait?
No, I'll just say right now.
Should you go? Should you
no,
look,
I'm just saying now.
Because we may be on the road. We could be on a plane or something. Well, these next 7 days, you never know. You would have time to lock in and really dissect the words. I heard he's shooting at some Usos. I heard that he got some words and lines in there. Too. Okay.
Yep.
But are you sure you don't want to wait?
Positive. Okay, so what I will say is that as far as his talent, his actual rapping talent, it is there. His sound sounds amazing. As far as his voice and his voice control, he sounds a little bit like Nipsey too. But kind of when I was listening to his album, my thoughts kind of changed a little bit. I felt like sometimes it was all over the place. Like it was just a whole bunch of really great singles put together. Like I didn't understand the concept of it. But then kind of also knowing that he was a military brat, the phrase they used for children who always moved around because they were in the military, their parents were. It makes sense because it kind of had a different feel. Like all his songs felt like all different parts and regions of the United States. So I guess I'm actually going to give him a plus for that. So it kind of sounded just like nationwide, not worldwide, but nationwide. But if you like hip hop, you like raps, you like poetry like that, wonderful. The beats were fantastic. I mean, his production I thought was actually much better than what I had expected that I was going to listen to a Montez Ford album. So overall, I would say it was a good album, but clearly I haven't gone back to go and listen to it again. But if it's something that he's passionate about, I'm happy that he's able to put that energy out there. And if you like music like that, at least go and listen to it for yourself. But overall, I would say, again, it's a good album.
For sure.
And I'm saying that word kind of like good is subjective. So
very loosely. Up, you're saying that loosely?
And down. Yeah, it's like this. So
I don't give a shit about that.
I feel you. That's the reason why I put it here, because I didn't want to do a whole breakdown because you would have hit me with that line a few times.
I got you. All right, baby cakes, we out of here, man. Shout out to the freaks. Appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Get the word out. Keep the word out. So we got some momentum going. We need more momentum. We need more momentum. We had planned. We planned this show only be an hour and a half. We went over 2 hours.
Sheesh. We should have stopped at an hour and a half and then produced this for next week. Because again, we don't know where we're going to be at next week.
Oh no, we're going to have way too much to talk about next week. We got All In to discuss, the fallout. The OTC is back next week. Yeah. We got to talk about that. So far I've stayed away from spoilers on SmackDown. SmackDown is taped. That's what we were talking about.
Oh, that's
that
right.
Was the other show. Yeah,
I'm glad you reminded me on that.
Stay away from spoilers. That could be out there. That may be out there. And then we got to preview Sunday night's main event. That's next Sunday. So we got a lot happening. We cannot put a whole show in the tuck a week before. That won't work. We can't do the freaks like that. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this fun-filled episode of That's Freaking Wrestling. We'll be back next week, of course. Location to be determined. I'm excited. Love you guys. Peace.